the idea of an original artwork, a unique creation with a fixed origin and author, is crumbling in algorithmic culture. What once signified authenticity now gets lost in endless replication and machine-made copies. The aura that Walter Benjamin described as inseparable from tradition dissolves the moment reproduction outpaces originality. Every photo becomes 1,000 variations. Every song spawns new versions generated by models trained on old ones. And this isn't just about art. It's about how we experience that photographs carry both studium and punctum, a general interest and an unexpected detail. But what happens when every image is just another iteration of the same data? The moment you lose physicality, uniqueness vanishes. A photograph taken with AI no longer captures a unique instant. It simulates one. It doesn't show a memory. It fabricates a plausible illusion. This collapse isn't just aesthetic. It's ontological. Neil Postman warned that technology doesn't just deliver tools. It commandeers language. And now we're seeing how it rewrites the very idea of authorship and authenticity. What is original? If machines can produce convincing forgeries in any style, the concept becomes a performance, not a fact. We don't ask where something came from. We ask whether it feels like it could have come from somewhere real. The original, once a sacred object in art and culture, has become a liability in algorithmic culture. Authenticity no longer resides in firsts or originals, but in convincing simulations. What was once the mark of human presence, like camera shake or an even handwriting, is now programmable, manufactured for effect. The paradox emerges authenticity, instead of being proof of humanity, becomes proof of technique. This is how imperfection becomes a commodity and simulation becomes realism. Digital tools now generate micro irregularities, a MIDI track with humanized timing, AI handwriting that mimics cursive loops, filters that make pixels bleed like old film. These are aesthetic signals, coded cues to authenticity. The more convincing the simulation, the harder it is to distinguish real from rendered. Spoofing becomes an arms race between detection and deception, each side improving in lockstep. What begins as mimicry becomes a new standard of legitimacy. As spoofing grows sophisticated, the line between artifact and algorithm blurs. What was once a flaw, a camera's natural wobble in a home video, is now an aesthetic choice encoded into machine learning models. The result: a new kind of realism, not about truth, but about convincing simulation. In this world, Authenticity no longer requires originality. It only requires mastery over the illusion.
The earliest computers were not machines of silicon, but of human ingenuity, mechanical contraptions like Babbage's analytic.
Just this week, a new AI-generated film called Dreams of Violets dropped. Made for under 3,000 in just 2 months with no human actor or crew. The director. A text-based prompt and a generative engine. This isn't novelty anymore. It's the new pipeline. From script to screen. Algorithms are taking over what once required imagination and labor. What we're seeing is not just faster production. It's a re-engineering of creative memory itself. What we hear in that footage confirms a shift from physical to digital soundcraft, where technology not only records, but creates music without human intervention. Early computer audio was clunky, tinny. But even then, it hinted at a future in which the machine didn't just copy what we do. It begins to do what we once did alone: compose, perform, improvise. The archive is no longer a record of memory. It's an engine for generating new ones. Roland Barthes spoke of that. Has been the aura of history captured in a photograph. But now, AI can fabricate that aura from nothing. A deep fake of Lincoln delivering a speech at Gettysburg carries all the visual and auditory fidelity of an original. Yet it exists only as a performance of history. The result is not just fakery, it's ontological confusion. If memory is curated by algorithms, then what is real? And who decides what we remember?
It is not surprising that music has also been influenced by technology. We are listening to music in which every sound was created electronically.
Once, to ask who made something was an act of discovery. Now, in algorithmic culture, we are faced with a paradox. When AI can create art indistinguishable from human work, the question becomes not who, but if such a thing still matters at all. This isn't just a philosophical dead end. It's cultural erosion in motion. The death of originality forces us to reckon with what meaning clings on without provenance or intentionality. In Technopolis, he warned that when one culture replaces another not through force, but seduction, the alternatives are quietly erased. Now we see this happening in real time. Algorithmic curation is not just sorting our choices, it's sculpting cultural memory itself. What we remember and what we forget becomes less a matter of personal taste and more an engineered consensus.